on Newswatch 18, find out about the Iowa State Spring Blood Drive.
And hear what an Iowa State professor has to say about children playing violent video games.
The Cyclone basketball teams had an eventful spring break. I'll have the results later during sports.
And we have one more cold night ahead of us tonight, but temperatures do get into the mid-50s tomorrow. We'll have 60s come the weekend.
This is Newswatch 18. Newswatch 18 starts now.
Evening and welcome to the Tuesday edition of Newswatch 18. I'm Amanda Claphan.
And I'm Tyler Tweeten. Thanks for joining us.
It was recently announced that 4 Iowa State students were named Goldwater Scholars. The Goldwater Scholarship is one of the nation's top undergraduate awards in mathematics, natural sciences, and engineering. 283 Goldwater Scholars were selected from a pool of just over 1,100 applications across the United States. Universities are able to nominate up to 4 candidates each year, and the Iowa State candidates were selected through a competition on campus. Dana Schumacher, Honors Program Assistant Director for Scholarship and Research, said this is the first time all 4 candidates from ISU has been selected.
The very first Diversity Resources Fair at Iowa State is being held tomorrow afternoon. The fair will be from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the sunroom of the Memorial Union. It will resemble a mini club fest, and there'll even be food. The goal of the Resources Fair is to make students more aware of services offered by the university dealing with diversity. Some of the organizations and departments that will be at the fair include Student Disability Resources, Multicultural Greek Council, and LGBT Student Services.
If you have some extra time this week and want to help make a difference, consider taking part in one of the largest student-run events on campus. The Iowa State University Spring Blood Drive started yesterday in the Memorial Union. The blood drive will be open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day this week until Thursday. There are a lot of competitions between dorms and Greek houses with many prizes to give away. No appointment is needed, so come be part of the largest blood drive in the Big 12.
For students interested in joining the Student Alumni Leadership Council, the deadline is quickly approaching. Make sure to get your application in before 4 p.m. tomorrow if you want a chance to become part of the team that plans events like campus barbecues and Cyclone Alley events. Applications are still being accepted for the Ambassadors, Cyclone Alley Central, and Senior Class Council committees. You can apply online at the Student Alumni Leadership Council's website.
Iowa State will hold a public forum at 10 a.m. on April 1st as part of the Comprehensive Efficiency Review by the Iowa Board of Regents. The forum will be in Howe Hall Auditorium with the purpose of helping stakeholders find out more about the review process. The effort is being called Rising to the Next Tier to emphasize the commitment to transparency and inclusiveness in the efficiency review. President Stephen Leith said in a letter that everything is on the table, including in the review, including business functions, programs, and facilities.
A few Iowa State students will soon be sleep deprived after this year's Money Game Jam, a 24-hour event that is centered on the goal of designing a new game, mobile application, or website geared toward helping students get involved in their personal finance. Jonathan Fox, director of Iowa State's Financial Counseling Clinic, believes that this workshop has helped many students over the years and says he'd like to see students develop something that will not only be fun and gain popularity, but will also teach them about the importance of personal financial management. Students can register individually or as a team and have the chance to win up to $1,000. The event will take place at the Hickson Lead Student Success Center at 11 a.m. on March 29th.
The Library Board of Trustees approved the Ames Public Library's plan to put out a new bookmobile last Thursday. Bookmobile is a mobile branch of the library that travels to neighborhoods and events carrying books. The cost of the new vehicle is $240,000, and it will have better lighting and be more eco-friendly. The current bookmobile has been around since 2001, and this new one will be a 2015 model. The bookmobile in use now has dealt with mechanical troubles and uses outdated technology, so the improvements will definitely help. The board also set the date for the grand opening of the new library for Sunday, September 14th.
Children who play violent video games seem to learn behavioral patterns from them that stick with them throughout their lives, according to Douglas Gentile, a professor in the psychology department here at Iowa State University. He relates the behaviors to playing the piano or doing mathematics. Researchers found that over time, children start to think more aggressively, and when provoked at home, school, or in other situations, students will react much like they do when playing a violent video game. Repeated practice of aggressive ways of thinking appears to drive the long-term effect of violent games on aggression.
Iowa State students will get their chance to present research they've been working on to Iowa's legislatures on Tuesday, April 1st. The annual event is called Research in the Capitol, and 21 ISU students will present to legislatures and others in the rotunda of the state capitol building in Des Moines. Students will put up their research posters and describe the work they've been doing. Research topics to be presented range from the white-tailed deer population in Iowa to Iowa's gender balance legislation and everything in between.
Senator Claire McCaskill will speak on March 28th at noon in the sunroom of the Memorial Union, and her speech will cover the double standard that women in politics face. McCaskill was criticized in the 2012 election for her unladylike behavior during a senatorial debate. McCaskill has spent most of her career in public service at the county, state, and federal level since graduating from the University of Missouri College of Law in 1978. She began her career as an assistant prosecutor in Kansas City, Missouri, where she specialized in prosecuting arson and sex crimes. That experience is a motivating factor in her fight to change how alleged sexual assaults in the military are prosecuted.
The Story County Board of Supervisors is proposing the regulation of e-cigarettes for people under the age of 18. An e-cigarette is a battery-powered device that vaporizes liquid that usually contains nicotine. These cigarettes have almost no regulations at all in the state of Iowa. The meetings to vote on the regulation will be held March 31st and April 3rd at 7 p.m., but there is still no exact date that the ordinance would be put into action.
Greek Week festivities continue tonight with Lip Sync, which started at 7 p.m. Lip Sync is a show hosted at C.Y. Stevens Auditorium where fraternity and sorority pairings perform skits lasting around 10 minutes. The catch is that participants mouth the words that are played over the sound system, hence the name Lip Sync. Lip Sync is currently ongoing, and 13 pairings are performing this evening. Admission is free and open to the public.
And now we're joined by Travis at the desk. Travis, how'd the Cyclones do over break?
It was NCAA tournament seasons for several Cyclone Sports. The full stories after the break. Stay tuned. You're watching Newswatch 18. Welcome back to Newswatch 18. I'm Travis Cammon with your Cyclone Sports update. The Iowa State men's basketball team had a busy spring break, winning the Big 12 tournament with victories over Kansas State, Kansas, and Baylor in the final. And also advancing in the NCAA tournament in the first game of the NCAA tournament, the three-seeded Cyclones squared off against NC Central, a team that had won 20 straight games heading into the tournament. ISU was able to win by a comfortable 93-75 margin, but the biggest outcome was the loss of Georgia's Niang, who sustained a season-ending foot injury. In the second round, the Cyclones faced a much tougher test against North Carolina. With Niang out, senior DeAndre Kane stepped up in a big way and made the final shot to win it. The Tar Heels inbounded the ball with just 1.6 seconds left, but couldn't score or call a timeout before time expired. The play was reviewed, and due to a clock issue, referees determined that North Carolina did not call a timeout in time, effectively ending the game. This is the Cyclones' first appearance in the Sweet 16 since 2000. The Cyclones' next game will be on Friday against Connecticut in Madison Square Garden in New York City. While the men were celebrating an extended run in the tournament, the ISU women's basketball team had a surprisingly fast exit. The women faced off against Florida State in front of a home crowd at Hilton Coliseum, but were upset by the Seminoles. The 7-seeded Cyclones trailed at halftime by nearly 15 points and couldn't get going offensively as the Seminoles forced 19 turnovers in the game. A poor shooting night proved to be too much to overcome, and the women ultimately fell 55-44 in the contest. Hallie Christopherson did finish her Iowa State career in style, however, finishing with 21 points and 11 rebounds to lead the Cyclones. The men's wrestling team finished the season with a 12th place team finish in the NCAA tournament. 6 Cyclones qualified for the tournament, with 3 finishing with All-American honors. There were no champions for ISU, but Kyvan Gadsden, Earl Hall, and Mike Marino finished 4th, 5th, and 8th respectively. All 3 have another chance next year, however, as the team has no graduating seniors this year and will return a full lineup next season. In the indoor NCAA track and field championships, thrower Christina Hillman capped her dominating season where she has not lost a single meet with her first NCAA championship. After her second place finish last season, the sophomore came into the tournament with a number 2 ranking and the best throw in the nation. Hillman would eclipse that mark by an entire 1.5 feet in the second round of the championships. She will now prepare for the Big 12 and NCAA outdoor tournaments. And that's all I have for your Cyclone Sports update. What can we expect for the weather this week?
Well, winter has still been around these past couple of days, but a warm-up is on its way. We do have some rain coming Wednesday night into Thursday, but temperatures do soar back to the 60s on Sunday. Stay tuned. You're watching Newswatch 18. Welcome back to Newswatch 18. I'm meteorologist Zach Mlcoch. Now we have one more cold night ahead of us tonight, but some midweek rain may feel a little bit warmer as temperatures do surge back into the 50s. We do have a mild weekend ahead of us with temperatures well above average, so something we haven't felt around here in quite a while. Now Ames currently is about 27 degrees. Winds are calm, just pretty light, but it will be a different story later on tonight as winds do pick up coming from the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And the dew point is pretty low, pretty dry tonight. Now, temperatures across the state, 20 in Mason City, 27 in Fort Dodge, as well as here in Ames. But the warmest spot is Council Bluffs, as well as matching that, coming in at 30 in both Des Moines and Council Bluffs. So it is just below freezing, but tonight we will see teens around most of the state. Current winds across the state, 0 in Ames as well as Fort Dodge and many other areas, but light to calm winds across most of the state, leaving current wind chills pretty moderate to what the temperatures currently are, so 27, like I said, in Ames and in Fort Dodge. So the winds are not a big story right now, but they will be a big story coming tomorrow. Now, highs today across the country, pretty warm on Seattle, 57, 63 in San Francisco, so a pretty warm area. That area still is pretty warm. Phoenix is actually under a dust storm that's actually pushing through Phoenix right now, and that's why they're pretty warm, and that's why the dust is getting ramped up with all the wind pushing through the area. But 64 in Dallas, and that's going to be the warm air that'll be working its way into central Iowa tomorrow, and definitely Saturday and Sunday, as we might even see 60 across the state. Now, clouds and radar across the state shows a big ridge across most of the western part of the United States. A lot of high pressures in this area, which means a lot of clear skies throughout tonight and tomorrow. But back across the Pacific coast, we do have some rain that will actually be bringing us some showers Wednesday night into Thursday early morning. So not too bad until then, but most of the day on Thursday will be pretty wet around campus. So try and watch out as you go across the university, maybe bring an umbrella here and there. So Futurecast shows that system is being pushed its way off the west coast, and actually it's going to mix with some storms down low coming across most of central Iowa, central United States, Nebraska. But the main system does come to the area around Thursday, around 2 a.m., pushing through most of the day on Thursday. So now as you zoom this map in, going closer to Iowa, you'll see that this works its way in through central Iowa around 2, 3, 4 a.m. in the morning. Gives a bit of a break, but the commute into Des Moines and definitely into Ames will be a little bit of a wet one come 6, 7, and 8 tomorrow. We do have a little bit of a break until 11 and 12, but then it builds back in again throughout most of the state and then pushes off to the northeast and then likewise motion. So it'll be pretty cloudy on Wednesday. I don't see rain wrapping up until about 5, 6 in the afternoon. So it'll be a very wet day on Thursday. But after that, temperatures do go down for a little bit, but then do soar back up into the 50s and possibly even 60. Current watches around the state, not much at all. We do have a wind advisory out down south, and that'll be making its way into the Iowa area tonight into tomorrow. And actually, the winds are going to help us warm up close to 50 tomorrow and definitely warmer throughout the weekend. Like I said, that wind advisory extending all the way down through Nebraska and Kansas, but down south, a freeze warning throughout most of the southern United States. Alabama, Georgia, even parts of Florida underneath that freeze warning. And then we have a winter weather advisory in purple just on the east coast. So some storms going out there. Not too much, 2 to 3 inches are expected for most of that area, but not much snow in that area for sure. But tonight, low of 16, light winds. It will be cold in the morning, so wind chills are going to be pretty cold come morning because the winds are from the northwest at 5 to 10. But tomorrow is a lovely day, mostly sunny skies with 54. Like I said, windy. The winds coming from the south-southeast at 20 to 25, gusting to 35 at times. So it will be very warm outside, but very windy. And because of those winds coming from the southeast, that's why we have that pretty mild temperature tomorrow. But the 7-day is looking beautiful. We do have one more day of 40s on Friday, but look at that. No 30s at all in the 7-day forecast, and even 68 on Sunday. So it is a really nice day. One more chance of rain coming in on Monday, and then back down to the 40s on Tuesday. But the 40s won't last long as we seem to head around that 50-degree mark for the rest of the week. That's all I have in weather. Back to you guys.
Spring break may be over, but it's already time to start looking forward to the VISA celebrations. One of the many celebrations that will be happening is the VISA Campus Cookouts. Each day during VISA week, you will find a tent on Central Campus, serving lunch to those with a special button. These buttons are $5 and will get you a lunch at the tent for the whole week. The menu for each day's meal can be found online. Buttons can be purchased at the booth outside the West Student Office space in the Memorial Union.
And that's all we have for tonight's edition of Newswatch 18.
Be sure to join us on Thursday for more Cyclone news, weather, and sports.
Have a great night, Ames.